Welcome back to the 4 o'clock hour of the Diamond Lane. 4:30, my name is Simon Rusnak, and on Friday and Saturday, Renaissance Voices continue in their tradition of Advent celebration with choral masterworks. This year, the concert is titled Sweelinck and Swing and brings together seemingly opposite musical genres in what should be a most memorable performance. We're joined in this 4 o'clock hour of the Diamond Lane, not by Renaissance Voices, but by jazz artist Helen White, also on the program for your next installment of Birchwood Jaguar 107 Live.
From the Classic 107 studios in downtown Winnipeg, 107 Live for Birchwood Jaguar, the art of performance.
What child is this who lay to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping, whom angels greet with anthems sweet, while shepherds watch are keeping? So bring him incense, gold, and myrrh, come peasant, come king, to own him. The King of Kings salvation brings. Let loving hearts enthrone him. This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him, Lord, the babe, the Son of Mary. What child is this who lay to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping, whom angels greet with anthems sweet, while shepherds watch are keeping? This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him, Lord, the babe, the Son of Mary.
Absolutely gorgeous. That was Helen White singing and on the piano, joined by Bob Broek on the trumpet, on the horn. Thanks so much for coming by the studio. That was absolutely lovely.
Thank you.
Oh, a pleasure having you here. And we're also joined by Dr. Janet Brenneman. Thanks so much for also coming by the studio. We're doing a little bit of microphone sharing here. I want to begin by asking you, how did this concert come together? Sweelinck and Swing.
Well, first of all, thanks, Simon, for having us here today. And, I think all good concerts come together when you think of what kind of music do you want to bring to your audience and who are your friends and how do you want to bring, your friends together. And with Renaissance Voices, we have this wonderful concept, this event of a concert in which, people are sitting at round tables with candlelight and we serve them mulled wine and hot apple cider. And so for me, it's been a perfect venue to present some Renaissance music, but it also extends really well to other genres. And in particular, I think it's lovely to have jazz in there in that evening as well.
How do you know Helen and to get involved? Where does it all start?
Well, Helen is a colleague of mine at Canadian Mennonite University, where she teaches vocal jazz there, and we have become good friends over the last few years. my husband and I love to go and see Helen's shows when she's playing at the Palm Room or when she's at Folio at CMU, and we've come to know Bob that way as well. And so it just, it's just been a really a good friendship that has developed. And so this was a natural fit.
And it's nice to see that chemistry on the stage too, right? I mean, it really, when you're playing music with your friends, it makes a world of a difference. Helen, what's this experience been like for you? I'm going to throw the mic over there.
Slightly nerve-wracking. No, it's really fun. I love coming out of my comfort zone, and I like a challenge. Lots of this music, in fact, the one that you just heard, is pretty much my roots, whether I like to admit it or not. I'm an Anglo-Saxon, and I grew up listening to these songs and singing these songs, and, I like it. It's something a bit different.
So also on the program is a 16th century Dutch composer,
Right.
Jan Pieterszoon Sweelinck, who's
Yes.
one of those composers who, we were talking about this off the air. I mean, we've got his harpsichord works, his instrumental works have survived, but not necessarily his choral works. They've kind of fallen into obscurity a little bit.
Correct.
How did you come to know this particular work, the Nativity Motet?
Well, he's become one of my favorite Renaissance composers, actually, Sweelinck has. And he wrote a set of Canciones Sacrae, so sacred songs, 37 of them. And about 9 of them can be categorized as nativity motets. So they're centered around the theme of, first of all, the Annunciation, and then the birth of Christ, and even into Epiphany themes as well. So we're going to do 5 of those motets on the concert this weekend. And these are fairly familiar texts or commonly set texts, let's say, by other composers as well. So there's a setting of the Magnificat. Well, that's been set.
It's a text that's been said countless times.
That's right, countless times. Or the Odie Christus Natus Est is another one that you would be familiar with, right? So the thought occurred to me that, well, why don't we present some of these texts set by other composers as well? And then I thought, I'm a real champion for Canadian choral music as well.
I noticed that on the program.
So each of the texts that we have chosen has been paired then with a contemporary setting of the same text written by a Canadian composer. So now we've got 16th century Dutch Renaissance composer, we've got Canadiana, and we've got jazz.
Helen, I want to ask you about the jazz side of things. I mean, you're going to be doing some arrangements. What should people come see? Like, what are you most excited to perform?
Well, I'm very excited to do some of these more traditional songs because it's not what I usually do.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to be joined by Bob Van den Broek here on horn and also singing, and Larry Bjornsson on bass, who plays bass like a solo instrument.
That's
so
wonderful.
I'm featuring him as much of a soloist, as a bass player. Like, he's a really exquisite player.
Right.
And then some jazz classics, some favorites.
The standards.
And then we have a real treat. Can I tell them about the end, or is it a spoiler? Is it a spoiler alert? I get to sit at the piano, a Steinway, no less, which is a gorgeous piano in a really lovely church with a friend next to me and all these new friends that I've met around me singing. There's 26 of them singing perfectly well, and it was very lovely. It's actually a very moving moment. So
I wanted to ask about that. There is going to be a collaboration between both ensembles that way, right?
Right. So Helen's friend, Jonathan Alexiuk, has arranged Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. It features Helen at the piano and the choir.
And I'm sure will be more than memorable. But in speaking of Merry Christmases, one of the things I love about Renaissance Voices is you keep up the old tradition of the wassailin. You guys really do it with the mulled wine and everything there. I mean, like, what a wonderful experience.
Well, we try to do that. Yes, we absolutely love that idea of our event, and we think our audiences love it as well.
Well, perfect. For those of you just tuning in, I'm speaking with Janet Brenneman and Helen White. Together, they're performing in a performance, evidently, called Sweelinck and Swing. You've got 2 chances to catch the show, Friday, December 8th and Saturday, December 9th at Young United Church. Doors open at 7:30, shows at 8. Tickets are $25 for adults, $15 for students. Helen, can I ask you to do one more?
yes, certainly.
Oh, perfect. Thanks so much.
Love to. I do need this, though. So this is classic by Mel Torme, probably one of the most well-known jazz Christmas songs ever. And please sing along, because everyone knows this one. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up in winter clothes. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is going to spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is going to spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to you.
107 Live is Classic 107's intimate concert series, brought to you by Birchwood Jaguar, the art of performance.